The land down under has never been easier to reach. United Airlines has more flights between the U.S. and Australia than any other U.S. airline, so you can fly nonstop to destinations like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Explore dazzling cities, savor the very best of Aussie cuisine, and get up close and personal with the wildlife. Who doesn't want to hold a koala? Go to united.com/Australia to book your adventure.
Today on CityCast Philly, the presidential campaigns are in town today, street safety initiatives, and lengths that one man took to find a date in Philly. Plus, I have another Cheesesteak Quest update for you, sponsored by the Western wear company Tecovas. It's Tuesday, August 6th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Before we get into today's roundup, I have a quick update on the presidential campaigns. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to announce her running mate before her campaign rally at Temple University's Learcore Center around 5 p.m. today. This is a kickoff event to a swing state tour. Also, J.D. Vance, who is the Republican nominee for vice president, will also be in Philly today. He's expected to hold a campaign rally down in South Philly at the 2300 Arena, which is at Rittner and Swanson Streets, which seats about 2,000 people. And that's according to the Philadelphia Inquirer. CityCast Philly producer Abby Fritz, all eyes are on the city today, right?
Yeah, it is a big day for the city. So as you mentioned, Harris is going on a swing state tour, and we are a swing state, so it makes sense that they would start out in Pennsylvania. It's one of the very important swing states that nominees want if they want to win the presidency. So it all makes sense that we have all these hopefuls here. Also, Philly is the birthplace of America, so it seems like a symbolic place to kind of start this swing state tour.
Yeah, good points. All right, shifting gears, let's talk about most Philly thing we saw on social media this week. Of all of the many things, Abby, I've got to talk about the billboard on 34th and Wharton Streets. Have you seen it?
I haven't, but I have heard a lot.
So for those who haven't seen it, there is a billboard that stands out because it is an ad for a man named Dave looking to get a date. According to Billy Penn, Dave is from West Philly. He's 28 years old and works in HR data management. And the billboard gives a little bit more details of what exactly he is selling. He's basically trying to sell himself, kind of. He really wants a date. So it reads, Dave is single. Want to go on a date with Dave? Message him at date_Dave_Philly. It continues with Dave Fast Facts. And here we go. Dave can cook well, in parentheses, has normal hobbies, owns a cat, which is also pictured in the billboard. And it says, bought a billboard. Abby, are you dating in Philly right now? And if you are, is it really that rough out there that people are going to billboards to find a date?
I mean, I am dating in Philly right now. Can confirm it is rough out there. But
Okay.
I don't know if I'm at Dave's level of rough yet. I don't think I need a billboard, not quite there. But I really appreciate his enthusiasm, and he does have a cute cat.
Yeah. So again, in that Billy Penn article, Dave did all of this for a laugh and to check something off of his bucket list. He says, I've always thought being on a billboard for no reason would always be really funny. But the article continues to give more details on how Dave describes himself. And so it says, Dave is straight and left-leaning, politics-wise. He's open to talking to everyone, but isn't looking to date someone who's under 21. Shared interests aren't necessary, and being able to show each other your worlds and learn from each other is ideal. I think that's honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any red flags, Abby?
Honestly, hearing that he mostly did this for a giggle from his friends is like major green flag for me. I think this is funny. It's a very expensive giggle. I'm sure that was not a cheap
Right.
billboard, but I do think that, it shows he has a good sense of humor and he seems like a nice guy. Standard goals, wants someone that, he can learn from. It's really nice.
Right. And I feel like it's not just the billboard at this point. Now you have an Instagram page that people can be sharing. You got some media to talk about it. So that's another way you can get yourself out there. So, I mean, I feel like this whole thing worked for him.
Totally. Must have been worth the price. He has got a lot of media. Everybody knows Dave wants a boo. So that's very true. And honestly, in terms of like dating apps and things like that, I feel like I trust a billboard more than like just someone's profile. So, he had to really think about the billboard. He had hopefully someone to look for grammar and really think about his answers as opposed to maybe some of these apps. But yeah.
Dave wants a boo. I think that might be the headline of this episode. When we come back, Abby and I are going to quiz each other on what's been going on around Philly.
Weighing in with soybeans and a baby show straight out of Norburn, Missouri, we have Soybean Festival. From Hayward, Wisconsin, at 73 years young with the world's largest muskie statue, put it together for Muskie Fest. Finally, packing a punch with fire dancing and a pet costume contest, the Roseau, Minnesota Fall Harvest Fest. One of these festivals could win $100,000 in the Cenex Hometown Throwdown. You decide. Cast your vote at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
All right, let's get into a news quiz. Abby, you go first.
Okay, so I have one question for you. The police department announced an initiative that aims to reduce reckless and aggressive driving in some of the more high-traffic areas of the city, according to 6ABC. Yesterday, this initiative kicked off, and it's going to run through the end of the month. So my question for you is, what parts of the city will they be focusing on? And I do have some hints ready if you need some hints.
Ooh. What parts of the city? Aggressive driving. My first thought, 76, 95, like the major highways. Is that on the list?
It's not on the list. And
oh, man.
I agree. They should definitely address those areas. Maybe that's next.
Okay.
But I think they're focusing on specific areas in the city. Here's one of my hints. So according to 6ABC, they've previously focused on Broad Street as well as Castor and Frankfurt Avenues. So it's not those. And that's kind of the types of focus they're having in terms of size and area.
Okay. How about Washington Avenue? And I say Washington Avenue in South Philly because some years ago, there was conversations about adding more bike lanes to that street because cyclists needed to, just feel safer while riding.
I totally agree. I avoid Washington often. Driving, biking, walking, anything because of how people drive on there. So that's a really good guess. Not where they're going though.
Okay, hold on. Let me try one more time.
And then I have another hint too, if you want it.
Oh, let's go with the hint first.
Okay. So the hint is the two neighborhoods that they're focusing on. There's one in the Southwest, and then there's another in Port Richmond.
I don't know. Is Aramingo Avenue?
Yep, that's one of them.
Oh, okay. All right.
You got it.
So now the Southwest area, again, tough, but I'm going to say maybe Woodland Avenue.
Yup. Nice. Snap. Look at you. You got it.
I'm just thinking because of experiences.
Yes.
I'm like, it gets a little crazy out there.
It gets a little wild. So you nailed it. So in the Southwest, you're going to see increased enforcement on Island Avenue between Bartram and Woodland. And in Port Richmond, they're going to be focusing on sections of Aramingo between Somerset and Frankfurt Creek. So this is kind of all in an effort to bring down traffic-related fatalities. According to 6ABC, the police say this year is looking better than last year, but it's still 61 fatalities as opposed to the 71 fatalities at this time last year. So there's a slight decrease, but they really want to see more. So on these high traffic roadways mentioned, expect to see more enforcement, more tickets. So keep your eyes out if you're around there and drive safe, everyone.
Interesting. All right. Well, my question kind of pairs with this.
Okay.
What illegal activity are Philadelphia police trying to curb in the city? And I've got multiple choice.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
A, tinted windows. B, driving without a seatbelt. C, illegal car meetups. Or D, jaywalking.
Oh, okay. Well, I know they did put out some new rules about tinted windows, I feel like earlier this year, but I think
they did. Mm-hmm.
I think that's not it. I'm going to go with the car meetups since you said it connects to my question.
Yeah, you're right. It's the illegal car meetups. According to KYW, the police department is working on new tactics to curb these illegal car meetups that really take over city streets, disrupt traffic. I've seen them on social media, like in parking lots. So you might have seen it as well where, cars are doing donuts, people are hanging out the windows, or you kind of have to like, as the car's spinning around, you have to kind of like get out the way. So they want to curb those things. So the article says that police are using new technology. They've run 66 operations responding to these car meetups and confiscated nearly 300 illegal ATVs and dirt bikes. And that's according to KYW. Now, if you get caught, people can face misdemeanors or even felony charges. But what I found interesting in this story is that the article says in many cases, the people who attend these car meetups aren't even from Philly.
What?
They're people from outside the city. And so that pisses me off even more. It's like, y'all are up in our city, like really causing mayhem to our streets.
Yeah, it's like it's not even your neighborhood. You don't have to live here and listen to this. You're just coming to do this and then leave. Yeah.
I think that's corny.
Absolutely.
Before we let y'all go, I've got to give you an update on the great summer cheesesteak quest, which is sponsored by Tecovas. So for several weeks, I've been eating a bunch of cheesesteaks, and I'm rating cheesesteak spots in Philly in several different categories. How good is the bread, the meat, the cheese? I'm ordering the same thing every time. It is just a cheesesteak with American cheese and fried onions. I know we talked on the show. We had an episode where we spoke with some cheesesteak experts about, adding different toppings and condiments and things like that. I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to keep it pretty general. So that's it. Cheesesteak, American cheese, fried onions. I'm also observing the vibe of the shop, how easy or hard it is to order, and any X factors. So like if the place is cash only, or if you should order your cheesesteak and fries in 2 separate windows, which happens in some places. And then in September, I'll let you know all my findings. But today, I got to talk about just how I've been surviving eating all of this red meat. It's all about pacing. Like, I guess like my eyes were bigger than my stomach when we started this whole quest. But by cheesesteak 4 or 5, I just really started to get disgusted by the word cheesesteak, the smell of cheesesteak, and the taste of cheesesteak. Like, so I took a break. I had to replenish myself with like fresh fruit and vegetable juices, protein shakes, more cardio, and like more outdoor walks, which is just beneficial for my overall health. But it just really helped me to kind of like, okay, you got to chill a little bit. And like, this is actually a tough challenge, but But yes, so once I did all that, I kind of gave my body a refresh, if you know what I mean, from all of this red meat.
So what I'm hearing is that cheesesteaks are actually improving your health.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely helping me refocus on my health needs. So thanks, Philly cheesesteaks.
And maybe listen to your body too.
Yeah.
Has that kind of helped you no longer dread the sight of cheesesteaks, or are you kind of still there? What's going on with that?
I know I have a mission out there, Abby, and I will continue this quest to find the best cheesesteak in town.
I believe in you.
But yes, if you try this, if anyone's ever tried something like this, you got to slow down, pace yourself, and take breaks.
Not for the faint of heart.
No. All right, that was CityCast Philly producer Abby Fritz. Abby, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Trinae.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this roundup of stories, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with even more food content around the city. Bye.